What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review. And today I'm doing something I don't think I've ever done before, and that's reviewing a vehicle playset. And what we have here is the Star Wars Toybox Millennium Falcon set by Disney, and this features Han Solo and Chewbacca, of course. And if you've been paying attention to my channel or my Instagram, you could tell that I've really fallen in love with these with these little Toybox figures, and all of them have been really fun. And I really think that the Star Wars ones have been the most fun. So I'm really excited to play with this thing and talk about it. So let's get right into it, starting with this huge box that it comes with. And the box is very cool. It's mostly white. On the front you have some cool looking artwork of the figures. It looks like it's the figures themselves because you could see the joints and stuff, but it's actually just some artwork. And then on the side it says Star Wars Toybox, and then you're able to see the figures in the top corner here. So that's nice to be able to actually see something, because you can't see the Millennium Falcon. It's inside of the box there. And then on the side you get some artwork of Chewie and Han Solo, and then on the opposite side you get some Millennium Falcon artwork. On the back you get a look at some of the things that this thing is able to do. There's lights, there's doors that open up, there's sounds, there's all kinds of fun stuff. And then at the bottom you get a look at the Star Wars Toybox TIE Fighter set that looks really cool too, and I might have to pick that up because I'm really enjoying this set. But yeah, this is a cool looking box and everything, but you know, these things are intended to be opened up and played with, so it doesn't really matter. So that'll do it for the Unparalleled Universe box review, but let's get into the figures. And now that we have these out of the box, let's start off with Han Solo. So as you might know, these figures are based on the Disney Infinity video games, so they have a kind of a cartoonish stylized look to them, so you're not going to get screen accuracy or anything like that. And not only does it look like the Disney Infinity artwork, it also looks like something out of Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels. It even kind of looks like some of those animated shorts that they've been putting out on YouTube recently. It does have a lot of the main traits of Han Solo's outfit. You have the vest, the off-white shirt, you have the brown pants with the yellow stripe on the side, and then you have the belt and the holster on the side. You can't put anything in there, but that actually hinders the articulation a lot. You really can't get his leg to move because of the gun holster, but it does look good. You've got the boots there. All the sculpting looks really nice, and I really like this stylized animated look for these Star Wars figures. I think it works really good. And since we're here, let's talk about the articulation. His head is able to move side to side, and then you've got a little bit of up and down. You could get it to go down to about there, get it to go up to about there, because the hair and the collar kind of collide with each other. And then he does have a waist swivel. His arm is able to go all the way around. You could bring it out to the side. He has single jointed elbows that really don't get much bend to them. I wish it could bend a little bit more. And then it has a swivel at the elbow, a swivel at the hand, and a hinge at the hand. His leg is able to come out all the way to the side. You could kick forward to about there. Could kick back to about there. There's no upper thigh swivel or anything, and as I mentioned before, this leg is pretty much stuck in place because of the gun holster. You get a little bit of forward movement, but the gun holster just kind of wants to kick it back to where it's supposed to be. And then he has single jointed knees, but you do have a swivel at the knee. No kind of lower leg swivel or anything, but the feet can come out to there, come up to there, and then he has rocking ankles just like Vader. That's awesome. And yeah, so, you know, the articulation's decent on Han Solo, but I really do like the way he looks, so I am happy with him. The only big imperfection I have on mine is there's something going on with the hair. There's two, like, darker brown dots, and that kind of sucks. I didn't even notice it until I had it right here with the review lights on camera and everything. So, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully I could find some paint to, like, match up the colors or something. But anyways, let's take a look at Chewbacca. Chewbacca's really nice too. That's another one that kind of stood out to me, and I was excited to check him out. So let's take a look here. And the sculpt on Chewbacca looks really nice. You have all the fur going on. His hand looks like a Sasquatch's hand, so I like that. You have the different colors there. And you have his bandolier just kind of hanging loose here. I am going to try to fit it under his beard situation so it just stays in place, but for now I'm just going to leave it. But yeah, I love the way this Chewbacca looks. And he's a little bit taller than Han Solo, as you could see, kind of towers over him. So that's good. So yeah, I think they did a good job on the look of him too. Whoa, that's pretty cool. It's kind of light brown here, and then it fades into dark brown. That's awesome. And the funny thing about him is his head is actually soft, so you could kind of make it look like his mouth is closing. You can't get it to stay like that, but you know, the option's there if like maybe somebody wanted to glue it or something like that, or maybe you could even get his mouth a little bit open. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's kind of cool that his head is soft. And then for the articulation, his head is able to move side to side. It looks like it's supposed to be able to go up and down, but the hair kind of just pushes his head to the natural state. So, you know, that's kind of to be expected with his whole setup. But the side to side is nice. And then for his arms, they're able to come out to the side. And he does have this patch of like shoulder hair. And you would think that this gets in the way, but they did a really good job with it. It just kind of shifts out of the way. And you're able to get his arm to go all the way around without that thing hindering the articulation at all. So that is really cool. And like I said, it comes out to the side. He has single jointed elbows, but they have a pretty nice bend to them. And then he has a swivel at the elbow. And his hand is able to swivel around, but it doesn't hinge at all. But, you know, not a big deal at all. For his legs, they could come out to the side. Again, he's got a little bit of fur here, but it doesn't get in the way of the articulation. Could go forward to about there. Come back to about there. And then he has a single jointed knee that gets a really nice bend, actually. It also has a swivel. And for his feet, it's really hard to tell what's going on because the fur down here, so I couldn't really even look under there. But it looks like, let's see, I think actually this foot, oh yeah, this foot's able to move. It looks like there's a hinge, so you could go up and down. Only could go down to about there. Can only bring it up to about there. And it doesn't feel like he has rocking ankles, so I thought that was kind of weird that the other Star Wars figures do and he doesn't, but you know, he's still able to stand, so it's not a big deal at all. And both characters come with their iconic weapons. You have Han Solo with his blaster here, and it does look nice. There's not a lot of details on it or anything, but it has everything that it's supposed to, and it fits into his hand really good. For Chewbacca, you have the laser crossbow, and it looks fine. It's kind of the same style with not too many like realistic details. It has like a cartoonish look to it, but it's pretty hard to get him to hold it. His hands are kind of big and crazy, and the crossbow is a little bit smaller. You could definitely get it in there, but it doesn't fit as good as the gun does for Han Solo, but it does look cool, and you could definitely make it work. And for some really quick size comparisons, here they are next to the Funko Afternoon Time Scrooge McDuck and the Disney Toybox Mickey Mouse. And now here we have them with the Marvel Universe Planet Hulk and the Marvel Universe Buggy Cap. And now here we have them with the Disney Toybox Yoda and Disney Toybox Boba Fett. And last but not least, we have Chewie and Han with the Disney Toybox Darth Vader and Disney Toybox Kylo Ren. Okay, now time for the fun part. Here we have the Millennium Falcon, and this thing is very cool, but obviously it's not the correct scale. This is like a cartoonish kind of representation of these characters and this vehicle, but it does look good. All the sculpting looks nice on it. There's really nice sculpted details throughout the whole thing, but there really isn't any paint detail. It has like a plastic type of look to it, but you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But I do wish there was some details like in things like this. You know, the little satellite thing could use some details. All through here would have been nice if there was like a paint wash. But again, this is intended for children to play with, you know. It's not really like like for you know, grown-up action figure collectors, but you know, anybody could enjoy it. I'm just saying that I'm sure that they weren't thinking about adult collectors when they made this. But there's some cool things here. You have the satellite here that kind of moves around. There's this centerpiece that Chewbacca could sit in, and the gun piece could spin around, and then also the whole kind of cup area can spin around. And I'll throw Chewie in there in just a minute, but yeah, I like the way this looks. And then the coolest thing about it is that it lights up. So let's look at that. Woo, that's dope right there. That is nice. It looks especially cool right there. It's coming off kind of purple here, but it's blue when you're looking at it and with your own eyes. But yeah, that is awesome. And you just gotta kind of have to wait for it to stop. So sorry about that. Actually, I think it'll keep going as long as you're holding it, because I was kind of running around with this thing and it was doing that, but then once you put it down and just kind of let it sit for a minute, I think it'll stop. Maybe not. Okay, so I guess if you press it and then you hold it, it'll keep going, but once you put it down and press it again, it'll stop. But that's awesome. Anyways, let's keep looking at what we got going on here. Then you have the cockpit that could open and close. And Han Solo does fit in there, but because of his gun blaster, you can't really move his legs, so he doesn't sit in there perfect, but you can get him in there. There you go, so that's kind of cool. And you've got the cockpit here, and there's some kind of control details and things like that in there, but it's very, very little. Let's see if you could see them. Yeah, see, there's like some controls and some steering gear, but not too much. But yeah, the overall look of this thing is very nice. I'm sure that they captured what they were going for, and I'm sure people will like it when they get this. And there are some other cool things going on, like under here you have the legs that come down. Let's see here. Got this one here, got this one. You have this one that requires a button to kind of release. And then you have these ones that are really hard to get to. So that one takes some work. So yeah, there you go. And then you could stand it up like that. So that's nice. And then you have some more sounds up here. So that one just kind of goes and finishes and it's all good. But yeah, this is a very cool vehicle playset. I'm sure that people will love this thing, whether you're like a little kid that wants to run around with it, or you know, Star Wars hardcore Millennium Falcon Star Wars fan. I think all kinds of people will be into this. So I like it a lot. It's definitely a lot of fun to mess with. And then here's Chewie in the Torrent thing. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, he's hanging out in there. He fits in there good. He can only hold the gun with one hand because this hand isn't a gripping hand. But, you know, that's okay. And this thing does kind of move up and down. So you have like a articulated kind of thing going on there. And it does shoot missiles. Oh, it kind of shoots pretty crazy. Wow, I was surprised by how much force those missiles shoot out with. I was gonna shoot it at my camera when I was filming this, but I'm glad that I didn't. And another pretty cool little thing is that there's a little door that drops down here. All you have to do is press this button on the side, and then this comes down. But the only thing is that it's too small to put any figures in there. As you could see, Han Solo is way too big. Even when you take off the top pieces, I mean, he doesn't really fit. I mean, you could get him in there, but all you'll see is his legs from this side. So what good is that? But this door is cool and it works really good. So it is very nice. Just wish it was big enough for a figure. And then one more interesting thing that we have going on here is you're able to take off a couple of these plate pieces, and you could stick your figures in there. There's another piece over here that comes off. So that's pretty cool. You could have all your Star Wars toy box figures displayed in there. I think that would look really nice. Overall, I think this is a really fun set. I think that both of the characters are very well done. I was planning on buying them individually, so I'm very happy that they came together in this cool set along with the Millennium Falcon. I think the ship itself is very well done. I like all the sculpted details on it. I think the lights and the sound work really good. I'm usually not a big fan of sounds and lights on toys, but in the Falcon's case, I ended up liking it a lot. So it's very cool. I do wish that there was some more paint on there, but I really don't think the audience that they were aiming for really cares about paint details. So, you know, you can't really fault them for it. But I do think that the Falcon would have looked pretty awesome if someone threw a nice paint job on it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave it as is, but I think paint would look really cool because the details are there. So it would be interesting to see. It's really cool when you see really good action figure lines that are aimed at kids, because it kind of serves as an introduction to these characters that they might not have known about. I doubt that young kids are walking into like Target and, you know, hunting down Black Series figures, or I never see them, but I think it's more likely that a young kid's going to walk into a Disney store and see this thing and be interested in it and want to get it over like Black Series figures or things like that, you know. So I'm happy these kind of things exist, and me as an adult collector, I just think they're cool, you know. For some reason these toy box figures caught my eye and I've been all into them, and I think the Star Wars ones are probably the best ones so far, aside from Mickey. I think Mickey Mouse is probably my favorite, but behind him is Yoda, and then I'd say these three actually, Boba Fett, Chewbacca, and Han Solo are tied for third place, because all of them are really fun and very well done. So yeah, I'm very happy with this line, and I'm very happy with this set. So I think that's it. Thank you so much to Toy News International for sending this out to me to review, and be sure to go check out the Toy News International website and forums to see a lot more pictures of this whole set and just a bunch of other cool stuff. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff, and thank you very much. Peace.